Joining us now on the Bobby B Sports Tech Hotline is the athletic director of UCONN Sports, David Benedict, and following our show is the Coach Dan Hurley Show. So, going to have a lot of UCONN talk here in the next hour and a half. And David, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you, Dibs?
Doing fantastic. All right, before we get into all the UCONN stuff, what's your favorite 80s sports movie?
Favorite? I mean, was what's the?
I just watched all the right. I watched all. Well, yeah, Major League.
Was Major League in the 80s?
It was. It was 1989.
Yeah.
Just under
That's a great call. Just under the wire.
Yeah, man.
Well done.
That's a good one.
Well done.
All right, Benedict. we already kind of talked a little bit about it at
Bring it.
3
Let's go.
o'clock. You listened to the show yesterday. We're just, we're not mad at it. We're not haters of the decision. In fact, you probably did the right thing. But postponing the game on Sunday with the women's basketball was the topic yesterday. We were under the impression that we did have 15 players, like 2 managers on the bench that could suit up and possibly be 8. And you schooled me and say, no, we only have 13 on the roster, and the practice squad is actually a bunch of guys, and we can't put them on the roster either. But I guess the first question was just kind of how the decision was made. Was the team talked to and explained the Big East rule of why we did not play on Sunday?
Yeah, thanks, Ben, and I appreciate you guys having me on to talk about it and just provide some clarity to you and to our fan base. Look, I think I've never been associated with a team that has, got to a position like we're in right now where you really didn't safely have an opportunity to put them on the field or court, so to speak. And so this was unique, and obviously COVID brought this to light because of what was going on during that time. And so the policy was created primarily because of COVID. And, we didn't limit it to just COVID, but certainly that was why it was created. And basically the policy says that in basketball, you've got to have 7, in this case, scholarship players. But I would tell you that if we had 7 healthy players, be it scholarship or not, I think we would have played. But we weren't in that situation. We don't have any walk-ons on the roster currently, and we just got to a position where, from a timing standpoint, when the team got back from Xavier, I was informed that morning by CD that those of us that watched the game knew that Aaliyah had been put on the bench because of an injury during the game, but I was not aware that Ayanna also had suffered an injury that was more discovered after the game. So we started having conversation about it in the morning. First thing, we waited to see what the evaluation was from our doctors, which took place later that afternoon, and began the conversation and dialogue with the conference office that, hey, this is a possibility, and that if we're in a situation where we only have 6 available players that are healthy, that it's probably not in the best interest of our team to be put in that position.
So give me the logistics, David, of this, because obviously DePaul's coming to you, referees, media, everybody, fans, how quickly did this happen, and was it done early as opposed to late because of a lot of those logistics and things like that, more so than just canceling or postponing a game?
Yeah, I think that's a good question for the context of the decision and how it's made. I mean, obviously, you don't want to be in a position, although you'd like to give it as much time as possible, you have the team that's getting ready to travel, which DePaul would be traveling on Saturday. So they want to be able to communicate to their charter company. You have TV that's involved, and they have all the staff that come and actually facilitate the telecast or the broadcast, as well as the talent. So you want to try to take into consideration as many people as possible, but ultimately it came down to the fact that we weren't going to be in a position to know where our student athletes were at relative to their availability until at least Saturday after we practiced. And because of that, we had to make the decision to let the league know we weren't in a position to play.
Again, I think you did the right thing, sir. It just, for me, maybe I'm old school, and I just don't like the rule, maybe, and, not necessarily the decision, because, listen, we're UConn fans here. I want to win the whole enchilada, not just the Big East championship, but the national title, and I think this move does help UConn, where it gets us healthy. We already heard that Aaliyah is going to be back for Wednesday's game against St. John's, which is thumbs up, awesome. AZ possibly, game time decision, which is great. We've already got this rescheduled, and it's in the month of January, not in the back end of the schedule where legs could be an issue, which thumbs up to that. Had to move Seton Hall around, but we got to do what we got to do. I just feel that if you ask Nika, Dorka, Aubrey, Inez, Amari, and Lou, the 6 that would have been available, they would have said, bring it on. Anytime, anywhere, we'll play this game. I mean, Nika's played 40 minutes before. Lou's played 40 minutes before this year. And Dorka, I think Amari and Inez would be like, yeah, bring that. I want some time. And I don't know what question I'm going to ask you other than, were these girls asked if they wanted to play? And if you could, next time we do play DePaul on the 23rd, can you make Gino just play these 6 girls just to see what would have happened?
Well, Ben, I don't think that was a question. It was a statement.
Yes.
And I would tell you that, not that I don't appreciate or respect the opinions of our student athletes, because I do, but there's reasons why, sometimes, they don't make all the decisions. And as you and I had some dialogue yesterday, if we knew that we could go into a game and have 6 members of our team healthy, and they would take the court and no one would get in foul trouble and no one would be injured during the game, maybe we would have made a different decision from an old school standpoint. But no one could guarantee any of that to us. And so we're not going to put ourselves in a position, or our team, where someone goes in and potentially gets hurt during the game or gets in foul trouble. Then what do we do?
Well, there's 2 things that I would say. One, dem's the breaks. You just have to do what you got to do. If it's foul trouble and you had to play 4, you'd play 4. If you had to play 5, you'd play 5. Or what is the chance at UConn where we could just go on campus and give a couple of girls a scholarship for the year and put them on the team for the week?
Come on.
It's done. Well, first of all, UConn women's hockey just did this with their goalie. Norfolk State has done this before. I think 2019.
You mean
like a club player?
Soccer?
Yeah. No, hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey was it was the goalie in hockey that ended up being there. Or was it soccer? No, you're right. It was soccer. You're right. It was soccer.
I was going to say, okay, maybe I don't know what's going on.
Do they have to be? Well, let me dive in there a little deeper though. Do they have to be on scholarship? Can they? Is there a process to putting somebody on the team? Is I guess I think we're all interested in.
It's called eligibility.
Yeah.
You would have to clear somebody through the NCAA clearinghouse. Those are things that you can't just do in the course of 12 hours. And let's talk realistically too. Do you think you're going to just bring someone into that program and throw them on the court? They don't know a single play. I appreciate it, guys, but listen. The last thing that UConn women's basketball is going to do is duck an opponent or duck a game. Gino schedules. I think we have the most difficult schedule in the country. He intentionally sets it up that way every year. This just comes down to the fact that it wasn't the right thing for our team at the moment. And so I hope that all of our kids are going to be healthy moving forward, and we will not miss any more games. But this was the adult decision to make, and in the best interest and the safety and welfare of our team, period.
Talking to David Benedict, the UConn athletic director. Another question that is as big as the health of the girls, Gino Auriemma. How is he doing, and will he be there Wednesday?
Coach is doing well. Based on my conversations with him and seeing him recently, and I expect him to be returning to the sideline soon.
Has there been any sage burnt or any kind of I don't know how to not have these injuries because it is what it is. It's nothing that UConn is doing. It's just bad luck. It feels like maybe some sage would go a long way.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm for whatever gives people confidence. So if it's sage or holy water or prayer, whatever an individual or a program deems is. What we were just talking about the Wild thing and that movie. He put on the glasses. He wore the glasses, right? That was what made him feel, I guess, tough out on the mound, and he had success. So look, whatever it takes, we will do, and we're going to try to get our kids as healthy as possible. But look, our kids play really hard. They compete during practice. They are competing against men during practice. They go really hard. If you've ever been to a practice, it's physical. And so injuries happen when you have a group of people that are playing hard. So it's part of the game, and unfortunately, it's impacted us more than what is typical.
All right, let's talk some really cool stuff. You have a new building opening up, the Toscano Family Ice Forum. You just opened up the softball complex, the Elliott Ballpark, the Burrell Family Field. That is a softball complex. Talk about some of the accomplishments that you and the athletic department have done over the last couple of years. And I don't know if you've seen the video online of the baseball complex. They do it some justice. The weight training, the locker room, the field is just drop dead gorgeous, and it's a great recruiting tool that somebody just made and put out there on Instagram. Talk about some of the new things that you've done on campus there for the University of Connecticut.
Yeah, it's like anything else. It's a team effort. So there's a lot of people that take part in and impact our ability to be successful in bringing these projects and new facilities to life. And so the Toscano Family Ice Forum is just another example of that. It's going to be a great facility. I'm excited for our fans to come see it in person this weekend. It's going to be really special. It's going to be a great home ice advantage for both of our teams. And, not unlike the teams that got the new facilities that you spoke of, men's and women's ice hockey they will benefit, those programs will benefit significantly from a recruiting standpoint, especially domestically and in particular in New England and Connecticut. And so where it has been very difficult for our coaches to recruit kids locally, because typically if we're recruiting them, so is BU, or so is BC or Northeastern or Quinnipiac or Yale, and they had great facilities. And so now we're in that same position, if not better, and that's only going to raise the stakes and our ability to be successful recruiting those top kids locally, especially, and competing for championships.
I know you're a football junkie. What did you think of the game last night?
Wow. The semifinals were unbelievable. They were unbelievable, entertaining games, very competitive in a lot of ways. But, I think you sit back and think about holistically college football, and if you want to talk about the Power Five or the Autonomy Five versus Group of Five, and, you're adding 12 teams. But can you imagine, putting a 12 seed against a 1 seed or a 12 seed against a 5? I mean, it's unbelievable how good Georgia is, and credit to Kirby Smart and what they've done there. But the difference was staggering last night.
Always a pleasure, Mr. Benedict, to get you on the show, and continued success and good luck opening up the Toscano Family Ice Forum this weekend.
Guys, thanks so much. I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. Be well, my friend.
Bye-bye.
David Benedict, everybody. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do the sports menu, and then we'll hear from Coach Hurley live next.
The 5 o'clock hour of the Rob